there, Lavonne, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I took a poll recently on Instagram and asked you guys what you wanted me to do next for my next topic, and one of them was a clear winner. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about delayed cord clamping. What do you need to know? What are the potential benefits? What are the risks? Why would somebody do it? What's the recommendation? So on and so forth. Let's get to it. Hello. Hi. So let's get into really what is delayed cord clamping. So remember, we have the cord. I don't have my props. What's wrong with me? Okay, so remember you have the placenta here, okay? Your placenta is your baby's lifeline. That's how your baby gets all of its blood and oxygen and nutrients and everything. That's connected to the baby's umbilicus, which is also known as the belly button. So when the baby comes out and comes on your chest, it's still technically connected to the cord. In the olden days, your placenta would still be inside and then the cord would still be connected to the baby. And then once the baby was out, they literally would be like, okay, let me clamp, and then have whoever cut it, whether that be the doctor or that be your partner, whoever wants to cut it, they can cut it. That would be called immediate cord clamping. As time has gone on and they've actually looked into it, they have found that there's benefit to allowing the cord to pulsate, meaning not clamp, cut right away, and give it some time to push some of that blood into the baby. So if you remember, this being your system, there's blood basically filling this organ. You can see, like, if I remove the membrane and it's just the placenta, all of this is full of blood, and that blood actually belongs to the baby's blood volume. It's not a part of the mom's blood volume, it's a part of the baby. And so when the baby comes out and you clamp it already, this thing is still full of a ton of blood. When you clamp it immediately, that prevents the baby from getting blood that is their own. And we like blood because blood gives life, right? Blood carries lots of things that we like, including particularly oxygen. We like oxygen for survival. So it's like with us, if I give blood and then it goes to somebody that helps them, like, I'm gonna survive with a little less blood. Like, is the baby gonna be fine? Totally. I didn't have delayed cord clamping and I'm like semi-okay. But if that blood wasn't gonna be given to somebody to help them and then they were just gonna throw it away, it would be better for that blood to be in me so that I have more blood volume. Again, blood equals life. When you delay the cord from clamping, or you do delayed cord clamping, what happens? What do you do? So the baby comes out, it's skin to skin, you're snuggle, oh my gosh, look at you. And while you wait, instead of clamping the cord, they just hang out. And they're like, okay, we're waiting for that cord to pulsate. And how is it pulsating? From you. Your heart is pumping, right, and pushing blood all over your body, including to the placenta. The placenta is still attached to the side of the uterus, and while it's still attached, there's still blood flow happening between the placenta and mom. And so with every heartbeat, there's this push into the baby. Make sense? Eventually, your body knows that the baby's been born and it no longer needs the placenta anymore. And so the placenta eventually detaches and comes out. And usually before that, you're gonna feel, and actually literally when they say stop pulsating, how do they know? They feel the cord and are like feeling for a pulse, like we would feel for one here. You just like hold the cord for a second and you can feel it like doop, doop, doop. And then all of a sudden you don't feel anything anymore if you're waiting until the cord stops pulsating. Mom is pushing the extra blood that exists in the placenta through the cord to the baby until the cord is clamped. So is that recommended? What they've found recently is that yes, delayed cord clamping has benefits for both term and preterm babies. So in the past they used to say, like, if your baby's born preterm and the baby comes out and doesn't need any kind of like support, resuscitation, some extra help from the experts, meaning like the NICU team or the pediatric team, that you actually should wait to let the cord keep pulsating so that they get some of that extra blood volume. Babies that delay the cord from clamping, or that have that happen to them, they have higher birth weight, they have higher iron stores, and actually that higher iron stores until about 6 to 9 months of life. Which is kind of cool. And iron is the precursor to red blood cells, and red blood cells are what carry our oxygen to our body. So the more red blood cells, the more capability to bring oxygen to your body. Yes, for preterm babies, but now what they're saying is, as long as you have the capability to monitor for jaundice, which jaundice is the yellowing of the baby's skin, that could be like a whole nother YouTube video, but basically jaundice happens because of the breakdown of red blood cells, and so the baby turns yellow. We don't like babies to get super duper jaundice because worst case scenario, it can actually lead to brain damage. We don't want that. And so long as you're watching for jaundice, that they're monitoring for jaundice, particularly if you're in a hospital, then they say actually when you're weighing risk benefit, which one is more risky, it's better for the baby to have that extra blood volume into their body so they have higher birth weights, so they have more red blood cells. And then you start feeding, and over time that feeding, and once the baby uses their intestines and kind of poops out some of the byproduct of the red blood cells, then you, in theory, avoid jaundice. Best case scenario is you get those red blood cells and that gives you more oxygen. How long should you wait for delayed cord clamping, or how long should you wait to clamp the cord? There's lots of spectrum of belief on this. I would say talk to your doctor and ask them what their standard of care is. Do they routinely delay the cord from clamping, and for how long? If you have a particular preference, some people will say that they want to wait until the cord stops pulsating, which is usually like, I would say around 5 minutes of life, might be a little bit longer, or it's a certain number, so I want to wait a minute, I want to wait 3 minutes, so on and so forth. There are different organizations that recommend different amounts of time to wait for the cord to stop clamping. ACOG, which is the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, they are the ones that are going to be kind of your like overseer of your OBGYN, so your doctor that's gonna deliver you. They recommend 30 seconds to a minute. American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 1 minute. World Health Organization recommends 3 minutes. And really, like within those first 3 minutes of life, you're going to have the most push, meaning the most pressure to the placenta to push that blood into the baby's body. And usually within about 3 minutes, the baby's gonna get most of the blood that exists in this thing. So when you're talking about and trying to decide on how long to wait, really anything past 3 minutes is just like a complete bonus, because that pulse is like kind of like, oh, I'm not really pushing anything in anymore. It's just kind of sitting there. Even if there is a little bit of a pulse, it's usually the pulse gets weaker and weaker over time. And really the baby gets the most benefit from the strength of the pulse into the baby, meaning the push of the blood into the baby within the first 30 seconds to a minute. And so that's kind of where those recommendations come from. So you're like really pushing that blood, and then over time it's like, oh, I guess I don't really need to work that well, because the baby now is breathing on their own and they don't need the nutrients or the oxygen from the placenta anymore. The pulse / the push kind of gets weaker and weaker and weaker until it's gone and stops pulsating. In what circumstances may they need to cut the cord a little bit earlier than normal? That would be if their baby comes out and maybe isn't breathing or needs some sort of help, support, stimulation from the pediatric team or the NICU team. Then they're gonna weigh the risk benefit and say, you know what, that extra blood is less important than your baby like breathing and surviving outside the womb, which again, we care about. In review, delayed cord clamping is recommended for term infants and preterm infants. So it's better that the baby has the blood than doesn't have the blood, right? Thanks everyone for being with me here today. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment below. If you have any other suggestions, throw them in the comment box below. Also, stay tuned on Instagram, because I may just put out another poll and then you'd have a say in terms of what comes next. So feel free to connect with me there. If you are looking for birth coaching services, labor support, childbirth education, you can go ahead and go to bundlebirth.com. That'll be linked down below as well. And until next time, don't forget to flex and flow, and I will see you soon. Bye. And welcome back. Nope. Hey everyone, today we're at my dining room table. I don't have pants on. Your unit of your human and your placenta. It's not at all what I want to say. We like them to be juicy, we like them to be meaty. Does that make sense? In the future. Hello, child. Extra stuff, meaning blood. Okay. Flow. Oh, the important things. Don't forget to connect. Don't forget to connect via social media. Don't forget to oh my god. Don't forget to connect